Okay. Versatile Vigilante, young Vince, Uncle Vinny, and we're in the studio with the man himself, Mr.
Yes,
Michael Padilla.
Yes, sir. We're here.
How are you, bro?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Appreciate you for having me. And we need that Pacifico sponsorship as well.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, whenever you're ready, man, let's get it. But man, thank you for having me in your location. Really appreciate it. You got a fucking master layer in here going on.
This has definitely been a great place to grow for sure.
100%. Yeah. So this is actually our first time meeting. And I'd love to hear your story of kind of how you ended up here. So first, why don't you talk about what this space represents and we can go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I think this space is one of those many stars that had to align to get me back into art. So I've been in this space now since December of 2024. I left the corporate world September of 2024. Had a marketing branding stuff that I was doing on the side outside of my software sales, B2B sales. And I left the corporate world. I got offered a severance package. And it was one of these stars that aligned with, I was looking for change and some way to build something on my own. And so I left, started building my marketing branding, and it started to feel a lot like the corporate world as far as the similarities to the meetings and the schedule and whatnot. But I was looking for a co-working shared space at the time, and my buddy from New Mexico, who's a professional artist, Vicente Tejas, told me, hey, can you do me a favor? I need you to go to my buddy Hinato's place, pick up some art, and if you're going to bring it back to Albuquerque, that'd be great. And so I was already out looking for a space, and I showed up here like, oh my God, this space is like super dope. Like it's one of these places, there's a lot of places on Grand Ave where you walk in and you're like, I had no idea. So I walked in, it was honestly one of the coolest gallery / professional spaces that I've ever seen. And me and Hinato hit it off for the second we met. We talked for 3 hours just like this. He told me his story, I told him my story, and we just kept on going back and forth. And then he's like, so what's ultimately, what are you trying to do? And so I was looking for a shared space once I was near downtown anyways. And he's like, I have an office where I keep all my merch. It was basically when he had a meeting in here, he would throw all his junk in there. He's like, I'll show it to you. And so I went, he's like, I have a lot of professional collectors, real deep in the industry. Maybe you could do some of the marketing and branding for them. Who knows? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm an artist too. I used to go to school for art. I just haven't touched it in 18 years. He's like, yeah, everyone's an artist. Everyone's an artist at heart. Sure, yeah. He's like, all right. He's like, if you ever want to paint, I'm hardly ever here. There's easels, there's canvases. Pull up some paint. He's like, it's yours. I'm like, all right, that works. So I started working on the business, and then that's when I was like, if there was ever a time that I can get back into art, now I could do it. Because during that interim, I had money to float me, I had the healthcare to float me. I was just looking for something different to do. So then this guy would be like, hey, you want to go with me to an art install? I'm at the Four Seasons. I have a restaurant over there where they put all my art up. Hey, do you want to go over here to this gallery? I have some gallery over here. Hey, do you want to go with me to a collector's house? And so I would just see the small increments of, damn, maybe I could be a professional artist. I know I still got it. So I went to school originally for fine art, not knowing really what to go into at the University of New Mexico. And at that point, I was like, I know I'm good at drawing. So I'll go into drawing. I really spent most of my time in sculpture. And so I was doing that. I took one class in painting my freshman year. So that painting 101. And I was like, oh my God, this is too hard. I don't have the time. I'm trying to be great at all these other things. And I don't have time to learn the color theory behind these paints. I'll do what I can, and then never thought about it again. I'll go weld some stuff up and do a lot of woodworking on the side. And I took photography classes, all these other creative niches that had never got me back to painting. But one of the gallery owners who was there just it's kind of a conversation like this. Like everywhere I go, I'm trying to learn more about people too. Hey, well, talking about the gallery business, I really don't know much about it. And this is before I even started painting. She's like, if you ever think about going back into art, it's going to be painting's the easiest to sell. For me, you can do drawing, but they're just a lot harder to move. You can't charge as much. I'm like, oh, I guess I can maybe learn how to paint. And like, how much different could it be? And so then I was like, all right, seeing that there was a possibility. He was a professional who had been doing it for over 30 years. And I was like, my buddy's doing it professionally in New Mexico. Like, I could do it. Like, I know people think I'm skilled. Still doubting myself as an artist because I hadn't done it in such a long time. Drawing pictures on my daughter's like lunch bags and like all on her homework, or she's like, Dad, can you draw this for me and I'll take credit for it, type of thing. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But it wasn't really my art. I hadn't really made a craft. I didn't have a style. I just knew I could do art. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Now's the time. January 1st, 2025, I'm going to start painting. So I went, bought the rinkiest, dinkiest kit for acrylic painting. Tubes were like this big with like a set of like 90 different colors. Canvases this big. And I started painting. And one of those little canvases took me 2.5 weeks to paint. And I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. I'd go back home, crack open my laptop, start looking at jobs in Indeed, and be like, this is too difficult. Like, I'm never going to get it. I can't justify the price. Like, if I want to upkeep my current lifestyle, I'm going to have to sell this painting that's not that great for like $10,000, and hopefully it sells. I'm like, how would I ever be a professional doing this? It's just so far out of reach as far as what I was doing, and what I could, like that supply and demand. I had no audience, starting a career over at 40 years old. At that time I was 39, 38. But I was like, I don't know. So I'd come home, start, and like, all right, back to it. But I was treating it like a 9 to 5, that painting. I had this window where I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the full extent. Like, I'm going to go back. At the time, Hinata was gone. So when he came back, I had, he left out of town for like a month or so, and I had some 3 or 4 works. Like, hey, this is what I did. And he's like, not bad. Like, okay, not my style. It was more graphical. A lot of the stuff that I was doing back in the day was all graffiti based and like large characters, large bold colors and whatnot. But he's like, okay, you should work bigger. Go bigger. He's like, it'll be easier. Like, stop using those paints. Get some good brushes. And then it was just all this compounding time after time after time. Hours in here. Hours. I still treat it like a job. This is the hardest I've ever worked my entire life. It is for sure the most fulfilling, but it's still something that I'm still like in the beginning stages of. I definitely have had huge opportunities for someone who's only been doing it for a year, and a lot of that is like, Hinata's really introduced me to a lot of people, and there's been like some really great stories. That is like, all right, I can keep on going. I can keep on going. I can keep on going.
Right.
So I gave myself the year, and now we're past that year, and still going strong. But
Congratulations, man. That's an absolutely inspiring story. I love to talk to people that are willing to bet on themselves, take risks, take chances. You're talking about leaving a job. I'm in a corporate job myself. There's a lot of comfort that comes with that job security financially. You know, you'll always be able to buy shit for yourself. You could take time off, go on vacations, whatever. But you're not scratching that real itch. You know, I don't know if you're ever going to get to your full potential when you're in that comfort.
yeah, you know what? A lot of that security, I was in the corporate world for 16 years. Just,
Right.
all right. Well, oh, hey, a higher salary, and you just collect more shit and more expensive versions of that shit, and then it's like, all right, but is it that fulfilling? What really kind of pushed me over that edge to take that risk was I had a couple of losses in my family. I was traveling with my buddy who's a professional artist. And he's like, what if I was like, we should go snowboarding. And he's like, I can't go snowboarding because what if I injure my hands? He's like, this is my moneymaker. Like, I didn't even think about that. And I was like, what if I got injured? Or what if I got too sick? Like, what if I never had the opportunity to get back to where I was today, that I could take that risk? So that really is what put in focus the possibilities of being like, now's the time. Like, if it's not going to be now, then when will it be? And then the things that keep me going is like my girl, my daughter, like my family being like, keep going, like you're good. Because a lot of that self-doubt comes into play. The same thing happened in the corporate world, but then you had something to fall back on. Like, there's still a salary that's going to happen. I was in sales, so I was still making my commissions, and I was like, there's always something I can fall back on. Here, it's like, well, I guess worst case scenario, I go back to sales. And so that risk has been worth it. It's definitely, I treat it like it is a blessing that I get the chance to do it. I'm still learning every single day how to paint. My style is still developing, but I get the chance to do it. And it was one of those things to be like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it one day. I'll get to it one day. But I've seen in life, like, sometimes those one days don't happen. They don't get here. Yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
Excellent stuff, man. I love that, because you're absolutely right. I was talking to a friend of mine that I work with actually recently, where it's like, especially in a job, the time just like, it feels like it's crawling, and then you wake up and you're like, oh shit, it's March, you know? And that's, I think, the scariest thing about it, because you're right, that attitude of, I'll get to it one day, this, that. Hey man, this is your life. You don't know if tomorrow's promised. As cliche as that is, it's true. So to hear someone actually, the universe, I think, was putting you in the direction to do it, but you still took the initiative, you know? So good for you for that.
Yeah, and I think about it like in similarities. I'm all doing like these different comparisons and analogies and metaphors as to the things I see in life. And I had the opportunity to travel really early when I was younger, and I would see a lot of older people who now they finally had the chance to take this vacation. They finally had a chance to see this mountain or this pyramid, and now they're too old to climb in. So they can see it from a distance. They can almost touch it. They're there, but they'd rather like go home and take a nap. Like, at that point, that window has passed. And a lot of the paintings and workings that I do, I try to mix in something beautiful that I can relate to. A lot of these paintings are based on people that I admire and love and care for. And, but I'll mix that in with something a little bit deeper, with that sense of, now you only have now, like there's only now, beyond the past or the future, like it's now. I did this painting of Anthony Bourdain, like as I was just trying to develop the skill in painting, but it's him staring at his skull, sitting at a table. He has his chef aprons on. Like, people who know Anthony Bourdain, like, he struggled with depression. He lived this very, very full life, met amazing people, but yet he was still staring at death constantly. And so he was there. I'm like, all right, like, this is the best it's going to get, but it's still going to be death in the end. There's still going to be, and it's called order the damn dessert. And so it's like, all right, take the risk. Live in the now. If you can indulge, but you only have a certain amount of time. And I relate this back to my dad, because now he's not doing so well. Now he's sick, but he's had the biggest sweet tooth his entire life. And they're like, well, he's losing his appetite. And he's like, well, if he wants to eat candy, like, eat candy. Like, if he wants to eat ice cream, let him eat ice cream. But he doesn't have the appetite. And I think that's life. Like, at some point, you might not have the appetite, so now is the time to really take what you could and develop it into something that you can be proud of.
100% agree, man. I think that we are always this is the thing. you have a child. There's young people out there.
Yeah.
Planning for your future is very important. Saving money and
Sure.
putting yourself in a good position. But I do think we've gone too far down that direction of security is number one. It's an important thing, 100%, man. But I think that attitude brings a lot of that, oh, I'll do it another time. Or when I have this ready or this. Or, man, that's a dangerous game
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah, it is. Being in the corporate world for a long time, it did put me in front of a lot of different type of leadership opportunities. That maybe if I didn't go into the art world immediately right after college, then it wouldn't have put me in front of these different experiences of managing people and working with people and different generations. But there was a situation when I was going through this leadership training, and they broke us up based on where our career was. There was a lot of people in the room who were in the last like 5 years of their career. They were getting ready for retirement, and then you have these up and comers. These are kind of the best of the best in the business. Either they're coming in or they're going out. And but they did an icebreaker, and it was like, what would you tell your younger self? And so they asked the younger people first, and it's all the same question. No one can see what they wrote, but there was a trend that was based on like the younger people had very similar. Well, I would have invested more. I would have taken a different college course. I would have done. I would have went into like that different business. Everything was like with this potential of having more materialistic items to get them that better car, to get them that bigger house, or to get them to a different city, whatever was that was maybe a different position in their career. And then when they went back to these people who were ready to like retire and like they're ready to leave the business, and they're like same question, and it was all based on relationships and then fulfilling your dreams, and it all came back to like, hey, you're just a number, like you still got to take care of yourself. How would you done something different with the relationship that you have in front of you instead of being like that one day, the opportunities that you have in front of you that one day. Now time became this constant in them. I only have so much time.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were staring at those pyramids thinking like that time has passed. Like I can't climb that anymore. So it's been a lot of moments that I've taken away from my past to be like, all right, how am I going to be able to fulfill this, work hard as hell, and I'm tired. Like I'm tired because I've been trying to like put it together, and it's been doing good. But it's one of those things that it's a constant that you can't just throw it out there, hope that someone will see it one day. It's going to take work regardless. It's going to take work not to do it. It's going to take work to do it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's real shit, man. I've been thinking a lot about that too, especially in modern age of, Instagram culture, TikTok culture, going viral, things like that. I do see a lot of the time, and I think that's kind of what some of those guys were talking about, of like, how do I get to the result, or how do I get the result the quickest? And to me, that skips past the whole journey. And especially like something you do, painting, that's a craft. The only way to get better at that is to put the time in, and I do think we're focusing too much on shortcuts and things like that. And that's a fool's game, man, because you're going to learn.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing might be a blessing, it might be a curse, is I've really had a very difficult time of setting goals to be even like, all right, hey, if I work this hard, I'll achieve this. This outcome will achieve this. And it's almost like a superpower of work as hard as you possibly can, make as many connections, networks, possibilities, put yourself in front of so many different opportunities that one of those opportunities will eventually create that luck. But it's work. And that's been this kind of like this veil over my head to be like, I can't see the long-term gain, whether that's investment in the corporate world with a position that I got or moved towards. It was just, hey, if I did good work, I've seen that it has good outcomes. If I took the risk, if I took the roles that people didn't want to do, if I did the things that people didn't want to do, but I knew that it could produce outcomes and positive outcomes, then I was moved to the front of this line.
Right.
Which has also been the same way in the art on the art side. So if you switch back to the art side, and I think about some of those things I was doing in the corporate side, so a lot of artists who immediately just start out, they're not seeking the mentoring, or they're not seeking the possibilities of doing certain things. They're just working from project to project to project, just because that's kind of how the art world is. Like, okay, hey, this is something that's made me money, so let me chase this, But it's different as far as that long-term goal. But I'm happy that I had that experience of just putting my head down and just grinding, because still it's paying dividends today. Like I got here at 8:30. I'll leave either when I have to go pick up my daughter, or my girls give me a hard enough time that I'm not home for dinner. But like it's definitely, I'm putting in work every single day, and that compounding interest, whether it's in your career or like a corporate career, or whether it's here, it'll start to show dividends. So it's been good.
You're absolutely right, man. That's a great way to put it. I shit on the corporate world all the time, rightfully so. But yes, it teaches us some really good lessons, and I reflect on what I've done too, and I apply this into the versatile vigilante and other things. So you're absolutely right. Let's be disciplined. I have to put that work in. The job has to get done. Dealing with all different types of people, different stresses. That's transferable skills.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's a great thing too, of like, we think about painting or any other art form, there's stress that comes with that. Yeah. It's a different type of stress, of course, but it's still real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think people really talk about the stresses. You kind of just go through it. Because I always think about, like, I had access to this corporate world where you have HR, especially if you're a part of a larger corporate company. The HR is there to really invest in the mental health of the process. This has provided different mental health and healing on the back end. But artists are strange. Artists are weird. Like because they're going through something. Not only are they chasing the hustle and they're grinding and they're like in this creative mode, they're surrounded by other people that are doing the same things. But it's interesting to see the differences between those worlds. But it's still something that I'm still getting used to.
100%, man. I mean, doing this to see what you've accomplished in a year and change is pretty amazing. You're just getting started. You're just scratching the surface, which is so exciting.
Yeah, and I think about that. I know. So for 2025, I try to do this recap on social media of like everything that I've done. It was like a very small amount of work that I was producing, even though that I thought I was working like every single day. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it just wasn't enough. It was, I seen a lot of like gaps in what that could be as a future. Like, all right, hey, how can I still continue to make this a reality? But I could see the overall growth. I was invited kind of last minute. Hey, Mike, can you be involved in a live painting event for this gala? Really renowned Hispanic, Latinx arts and education art program, Chico. So very well known within the arts community. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I would be honored. So I put together something right away. And then when I get there, I'm like, oh my God, there's like 350 people, 400 people. I'm taking advice from the artist next to me, like, hey, this is my first live painting event. Can you, like, what are some tidbits? He's like, hey, did you bring an email list? I'm like, no, that's a good idea though. I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of your clients after this. And, and he's like, no, don't do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just playing.
Little plagiarism is good, you know.
Thank you for signing up for my email list. And but he was giving me like these tidbits, and I was meeting these different people, and that's definitely something that I got from the corporate world, where I do a lot of these corporate events, and I was the one hosting a lot of these like technology events, and I was the one having these conversations with these people. So it gave me the ease of being in front of those people, but also being able to represent a brand, which I was using as my piece, and I was lucky that there was a lot of interest in my piece. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks, thank you. It's still one of those things that's very difficult for me to see, like, yeah, people love my work, or people like my work, and it's like, thanks. Oh, that's like when, like, the way I see it, it's like, oh, you're a good, like, see a kid doing work, like, oh, you're a good artist, like, good job, like, keep on going. And it's almost in that same genre of feelings where it's like, oh no, it's just people, but people do love my work, and they do my work, and so when I get that, when I see it for the first time, or when I've seen it for the first time, when I continue to see when people purchase my work, and it's like, damn, people are willing to invest in my work, to put in their homes, something that they see. I don't even have art in my house. My walls are empty canvases. It's like nothing's there. There are no pictures, no paintings. I have a bunch of plants, but that's it. There's nothing else as far as like imagery. So when someone's willing to put my art inside their homes, I'm always like, damn, like that really hits home. But going back to the event, it's a live auction. They take your work and they're putting it up on stage.
Okay.
Which is the first time that I've been exposed to something like that. So I'm waiting for my piece. There's a girl, her piece comes on, does very well. That behind me does very well. And the girl, like, looked very well. The guy over here just set the highest record for the night. And then I could peek through the side and I see my girl. I did another girl that's kind of staring at the light, and the story behind that one was it's a like a Latina girl staring at the sun while she's taking in these last moments of the sun to warm her body, but also embrace like the moment. She's holding two poppies, which were my brother's favorite flowers, and so one to represent my mom and my brother, but she's pulled it out from the root, and that was to symbolize the temporary beauty that we all hold, whether that's the temporary sun that we get to see and like embrace before it's cold or gone or not there. And then you have these very fragile poppy flowers that, one, with the roots pulled out, they're never going to grow back. This is something that you're embracing as far as its beauty, and you get to hold it for like this singular moment before it wilts away. And it resonated with people. And so when it came on, like previous ones were increasing started by $100, and so it started out at 1,000, so it's like 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. So I was expecting the same thing. Like there's a video of me like, let's see how this goes, but right away it's like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5. Anyway, and I was just like, there's no way. I was just having a conversation with my girl, like it's all playing out in slow motion as far as like all the hard work, all the time, all the energy, because I was driving over there completely exhausted. Like I'm tired. I don't even want to go. Like I'm tired. I wish I could be home and like be back with the family, and like I'm tired. Like I don't think you understand. Like this is work, and it's like I'm like just tired. And so like those moments of sitting there and these small like wins, like every single time, like oh my god, like it's all paying off. Like people appreciate the work, but also like the work I'm putting in is kind of being recognized in like this out of body experience. It's like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000. The record previously was 7,000, 8,000. I'm like, oh my god, like I can't believe. As I take a look back from a year and a half ago, being like, hey, like take a look at my painting I did. Look how good. I'm like, damn, the texture was terrible, the painting was terrible, the concept like was cool, but it was like terribly reproduced. But I'm looking at all these like flashback memories as they're still calling out numbers, and be like, I can't believe like I'm in this position to even be here, for someone to take a chance on me to let me into the building to be a part of that program. It's Chico's the oldest Latino-based arts program in the entire country. But yeah, the piece set the record for the evening for 10,750.
Yeah.
That all goes back to Chico and its arts program, but it continues to put me like in recognition of like hey, he's an artist.
Fuck
And
yeah.
so it's been cool to see those things, but also because I've had my head down and like really like grinding it out, it's hard to kind of step back out of that reality and be like, oh shit, like you're doing things. It may not be where other artists are because these artists have been building careers for quite some time. And I'm like, all right, but you're still doing great things. You're still like keep going because there's still that moment that you could kind of recognize that you've been doing the work and now it's starting to pay off. So that's kind of been like my recent journey within this art side of the world, which is a whole brand new side of industry that I've had to learn. So, but it's been good.
Cheers to you, bro. Cheers again.
Thanks, man.
If anything deserves a cheers, I think that is fuck yeah,
Thanks,
man. I love that. What I really love about that too is you made a piece that was true to your heart. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna hop on a trend and hope it sells. You know, it's something that's very personal to you, and I think people feel that. You know, so that's a great story.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, like, I'll try to incorporate a lot of that. Well, if you take a look at these ones right here.
Yeah, let's talk about these.
Those are my brother's poppies.
Okay,
yeah.
right here in the hair.
Mm-hmm. So my brother passed away about 5 years ago, and he used to just grow poppies everywhere. Just get poppy seeds and throw them wherever. My dad would water them, and so just these random poppies would pop up throughout the year, which would be beautiful. Sometimes he would throw marijuana seeds, and my dad had no idea what they were, and then there would be
Hell yeah.
a 10-foot bush in front of our house. My dad thought was making the front yard stink, but that was my brother. And so I've been recently playing with the fragility of these flowers, these like beautiful flowers that are only temporarily here, and it's homage to him.
That's beautiful, man. Shout out to your brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I also do like you have a style of painting some very, very pretty women.
Yeah, so the women themselves kind of started. So I was doing a lot of men character, but I wanted to try to break away from kind of like this more masculine figure and try to embrace the female structure. One, because I love playing like the long necks. You'll see like a lot of the long necks, and then it'll give me a lot of room to play with like the texture of the face, and because it's just something that I really haven't really played with. But I got into it because my daughter was like, "Draw me, Dad, draw me," and I was like, I don't want to paint you, because every single kid painting I ever see, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna look different next year, and then I just have a painting of a kid in my house. That's not you. Right. It's an old picture of a kid, and now I have this like investment of time, like, and everything I do. At this point, it has to be all right. If I don't sell it, then it's gonna go on my walls. Like if I have to return to the corporate world, God forbid, like I don't want a picture of a 15-year-old on my wall, but let me see if I can embrace some of the things about you into these women. So a lot of them are based on the look she's giving me, or like the pictures that I've captured, and then they'll kind of just transform based on the composition that I'm trying to create. But also I do a lot of long paintings. I don't know why. I've always been attracted to kind of like these weird compositions. Right. And so it's kind of like this 2-1 ratio. But a lot of my work that you'll see are all based off of that. And so then it gives me kind of some room to kind of figure out, like, let me try to do something different as I'm still developing my style and what I'm known for. I'm trying not to get completely trapped into this box of just doing beautiful women. But I also enjoy it. I don't think a lot of people. One is it's hard to draw women. It's hard to draw people altogether. And I tell this story of like how I started drawing people, because I've always could draw people. And it's because of my religious background. Not that I'm religious, but growing up, my parents were hyper religious, and so we were in church like 4 times a week.
Yep.
But me and my brother, both ADHD,
Yep.
like fighting, no concentration, no interest in what was being taught. And we were just like, come on, this why are we here right now? I could be at home starting fires and
Yeah.
making messes. But like we were those kids that were just outside in the ditches playing like just raised by wolves type characters. But then he would trap us inside this church and be like, all right, now you have to behave yourself. And so my mom would give me the paper and pen and just like draw. Just draw. I don't care that you're not paying attention at this point. I just don't want to hear you. Just draw. And so I draw all these different perspectives of people, and maybe that's where a lot of this comes from, because there were women at the church who were dressed up and they had like nice hair, and they were trying to be presentable, and so they were all like Spanish women. So that might be kind of how that's driven itself into my own style, or what I paint or what I see. But yeah, so I continue to go that way. I've done a couple like landscapes, but it just seems I'm able to capture more of a story and presence when it comes to people. That's kind of what kind of led this direction. So I'm still trying to use it to find that story and bring that energy that I'm trying to present. And so it's a lot of like playing with light and playing with the deep, kind of still a graphical style. And then a lot of this, it looks like scratch and like different textures.
Yeah.
And so still just trying to create my own. I think a lot of that comes from the sculpture side of things, where I'm trying to just build a base, and then it just ends up being this.
That's one of the things I find most beautiful about kind of learning a craft, is when you start to put that time in, like we've talked about, and you get better, you also realize there's so much to learn. It's like a never ending thing. Like you could be the greatest painter of all time, which is purely subjective, by the way, but still be like, still learning. I still got new things to experiment with. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, no, and that's especially trying to understand. I haven't even touched oil paints yet. I've only been playing with the acrylics. Everyone keeps on telling me you should be doing oil, and I'm like, let me just try to figure this out real quick, because every single time there's a transitional period of producing the work, putting in the work to display the work. I would do my own frame, so mount the work, and then it's like, all right, well, let me start painting another one, and then it's like, do I remember how to paint? I feel like I'm learning every single time. Like I'm brand new to every single canvas that I touch. It's like, all right, is this going to be the right like proportions or weights or values? But you're right. Like it is a learning process. I'm getting better, faster at the color mixing and trying to minimize my palettes. But it's craft. Like the same way with like your 9 to 5, someone couldn't come in and do it as fast or as clean as you could.
Gotta learn it.
Yeah, but you got to learn it. That's what it's come to paint. And then I've been excited about doing painting, because it was one of those things that was like, it was difficult. I knew that if I was going to do it and it was going to be worth it, it was going to be something that I could kind of hone in on, something brand new. Because even during this transitional period in the corporate world, like, all right, I'm not drawing, I'm not sculpting, but how can I kind of scratch the surface on keeping something curated? And that's how I got into the marketing and branding side, where I would do photography, or got into graphic design. I was doing a lot of different logo creations, and that's where a lot of my color theory came into play. So all these different things kind of lended itself to the creativity portion of where I'm at now.
Right. Very cool, man. Transferable skills. Everything kind of might not feel like it's going to be used, but you'll use it.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Because I think about that quite often. Like, I wonder what that would have looked like if I would have went straight into art in some way. What that was, I have no idea. One of the reasons why I didn't go immediately into art is because that's also when I got my girlfriend pregnant, and then so I had a kid on the way, and so it was like, all all right, yeah, you can become an artist, and that was like during the worst economic time in history, which is going to be a challenge, or you could feed that baby.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna feed that baby for a bit, and then I'll get back into it. But those skills that I built, I wonder, like, if I didn't have the skills of the last 16 years in the corporate world, being able to do the things I did there, and instead I went straight into art, like, which one gave me the bigger advantage? Me being in the corporate world and building these skills, or honing in my craft in a really bad time within the art industry. Like,
Yeah.
so it's hard for me to think of the negatives of a lot of different things, but I do wonder, like, what would have been the difference if that one would have been better or not.
No, it's very interesting, man. I definitely feel like our path it's very unique to us, and I don't know if you believe in God or anything like that, but I do think there's more to it than just I made this career choice and now we're rolling. Like, I think there's so many things that go into every decision. It's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, because even for me to get into this seat, like today, like the stars that had to align in
Right.
order for it to happen were like, it was lined up in so many different ways, and be like, got it. Like, I'm gonna do it now. I got the time, the risk, like
Yes.
financial backing, like when all those stars could potentially ever line up again. And I think that was a part of it, where understanding, damn, like it might not ever happen again. Like, you might not ever like see this option or opportunity. Okay, now recognizing it, but also being able to kind of take advantage of it.
Yes.
I think that's the difference. In maybe some people aren't able to make that jump.
It's some trippy stuff, man, especially reflecting on it too. I remember there was a time like maybe last July or August, something like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I was in a completely different place a year ago, 2 years ago. Like, life can be so different in not that crazy amount of time. And I think reflecting on that sometimes brings that perspective of like, damn, man, I have done a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm here because of my past choices.
Yeah, but also your ability to take chances. Like,
Yeah.
even when you think about like your story, to even end up in Arizona, out of all the places in the world that you could have been doing your day job, like the chances that you took to put yourself here, which led you to meeting new people, these brand new experiences. And I think that would be like the biggest lesson, is just exposing yourself to the chance of being lucky.
Hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Create some luck for yourself.
Yeah. Because people always say, "Oh my God, Mike, you're so lucky. You're so lucky." I'm like, I put myself out there for every single thing, and then I have a really hard time to be like, "Oh man, that was a bad idea." What I really like, my other superpower is being like, "Oh well, that was a good story for sure." Someone's gonna either laugh at that story and be in shock about that story, because of the opportunity that I took, or the chance that I took on that single thing. And be like, all right, well, I'll chalk that up as a win. Like,
Yeah,
I'll chalk
man,
that up
it's
as a cool
experience.
experience, and
what life is.
Someone will have a good laugh at that. So
Absolutely, man. I'm with you on that fully. Like, hey, experience is what we're here for at the end of the day. And as long as you're okay, you're breathing, you're in one piece,
yeah,
you'll be all right.
yeah,
Fuck. You'll be okay.
Yeah, and I think that's something I try to get my daughter to really understand. Like, if there's something I could pass on to her, like being able to really expose yourself to opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people can really say that they're like, and that's okay. Like, but you won't get any good stories by thinking about doing something.
No.
You got to put yourself out there and really expose yourself to some fun stuff. But like, because it could just be like this hilarious situation that I can look back on and be like, yeah, that was interesting. But
You're absolutely right, man. Those war stories, you
Yeah.
know. You mentioned you're a big traveler. What are some of your favorite places that you've gone?
yeah, you know what? I just got back from Peru. That was one of the most beautiful trips I've ever been on. The people of Peru, super, super humble, beautiful. Like, could tell he just kind of really allowed himself to expose himself to the opportunity to speak, and their belief in their spirit system, as well as like really attracted to the way that they're looking at life and the beauty of nature. Beautiful country, great food, maybe some of the best conversations that I've had like within a trip. It was a bitch to get there. Like door to door, it takes like 24 hours.
Damn.
And I didn't realize that because I'm like, oh no, it's Peru.
Yeah.
Because I was planning it for my girlfriend's birthday, and she's like, you know what's coming up, right? You got it planned. I'll share that story because that one turned out to be a beautiful situation.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, and that, like, no worries, we'll figure it out. Like people schedule Machu Picchu like a year in advance, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm running out of time.
Classic guy shit.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I got it. Like, don't worry.
Yeah,
I got you. Like, I'll take care of it. And then like her birthday's coming near. I'm like about a month out, and so I'm like, oh my god, what the hell? I thought it was 6 hours away at most. I'm like, it's gonna take us this much time. So everything, I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to push back your birthday a whole entire month, and I'm sorry. I'll make up for it. Let me plan it out. Yeah, so even a month out. So at that point, I'm about a month and a half out from like the actual trip, and now I'm trying to book Machu Picchu, which come to find out those tickets sell very, very fast.
Damn.
Yeah, so if you're planning a trip to Machu Picchu, let me know. I have a guide now.
There we go.
But so I went online to like buy a tour, and I'm like, all right, Machu Picchu. All right, didn't want to pay this much for this trip, but I know that this is a tax on my ADHD procrastination. All right. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not getting any confirmation. So I check in with Viator. I'm like, hey, what's happening? Like, I haven't seen anything come through. Like, now it's a couple weeks out. Now it's actually 1 week out by the time I'm like, everything else is booked. But I'm 1 week out, and I haven't got the Machu Picchu approval. And to get to Machu Picchu, it's a long trip. So not only we went from here, Atlanta, Lima, Cusco, you go to the Sacred Valley. Sacred Valley, you take a train to Machu Picchu, then you take a bus to the top. Then you have to have a guide or tickets to get there. So it's like it's a journey. It is a journey, to say the least, which I didn't think it was. I thought it was just like this.
Yeah, we get there, fly there, and we're good.
Looks like we're taking a llama to Machu Picchu. Like, no, not like that whatsoever. So I'm a week out. Viator's like, I'm sorry, we don't have any confirmations of your ticket. Like, I know you paid for it. Let me get someone else involved. And they're like, hey, we set you up with another tour. So now we're 2 days out, and I'm like, I still didn't get any confirmations from the tour. What's going on? And they're like, I'm sorry, there are no tickets. It's sold out. Months ago, it was a flaw in our system that we even had access to that. I'm like, going to Machu Picchu is like, or not seeing Machu Picchu when you go to Peru is like not seeing the Eiffel Tower if you went to Paris.
Right.
Like, but that's like the whole reason why we're going. I'm like, so she's on the line, the supervisor from Viator, and I'm like scrambling. I'm like, what would I do here? And I thought I was just having a conversation with like maybe someone from operations from one of the places that we were staying. And he's like, all right, this is the best case scenario. Here's a little tidbit in case you're showing up to Machu Picchu last minute. I'll drive you through the Andes. I'll get a driver, which is a 6-hour drive through the Andes Mountains. So you're going through the Sacred Valley all the way up, I believe 15,000 feet above sea level. And then you're going all the way down. So you get to see all these different types of life. You see like wild alpacas and llamas. You're like in the clouds. You're in like 4 different type of environments where you need jackets temporarily, and then you drop into the Amazon jungle. He's like, so I'll drive you there, and then I'll hike you to Machu Picchu, which is like there's the city right below it. I don't even know what it's called. Aguascalientes. And then we'll get there, and then if you have your passport, only if you have a passport, just put faith in Mother Earth that your tickets are available and we can get a tour. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's just gonna try to rob me. Like, I didn't really know, like this is not gonna be good because I can't believe I didn't book this sooner. My girl's gonna kill me. And I was like, all right, sold. I'll take it. Like, I'll send you the money now. He's like, all right, perfect. This is what you need to bring. I'll get you some ponchos in case it starts raining. And so I told her the story, and she's like, I get car sick. Why would we do a 6-hour ride through the Andes? So she was like all drugged up on a bunch of like different type of motion sickness stuff. But it was the most beautiful drive I ever taken. Okay. It was gorgeous. Like, it was, you could take a picture at any point and it looks like the National Geographic. It was all the way up. It was beautiful. And then all the way down, like, gorgeous too. Of course, we all got car sick because you're doing literally 6 hours of going back and forth. But by the time you got there, you show up. We go up with our passports, because then we also had to do like a 9-hour hike to get there, which was also beautiful. And then walk up, like, here's the passport. All right, well, what trail do you want? All right, we got that one, which is like the best trail. It's like trail number 3. And then we had basically a private tour guide that like was on the same like vibe level as us, and like, he's the one who owned the bed and breakfast that we stayed at, that him and his brother built during COVID, and like this beautiful spot that overlooks the same river that runs into that. So all that water comes off of the Andes Mountains, off the glaciers, provides all the water that runs to the Amazon. But he's just telling us like these stories, and like the one that stuck out to me the most was, he's like, because the Spaniards took over Peru in the 1500s, and so it's a very Catholic country. And he's like, yeah, they would tell us like the Andes people they don't have a math system, so they're dumb. They would kill their own people. Like, so you just grow up thinking that your culture is like the wrong culture. And then when I finally seen Machu Picchu for the first time when I was 14, he's like, how could someone this uncivilized build something so amazing? And he's like, that was the first time I had like this reflective look into like my own culture. Told my mom I wasn't going back to Catholic church anymore, or Catholic school, and changed schools, and then also that changed my life for the rest of my life. The first time I seen Machu Picchu was the first time I could truly like see life for what it was.
Wow.
But we're getting like all these tidbits and like life bits and like conversation from this single guy, all because I was really, really bad at planning a trip to Peru. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. So that single kind of misstep led to one of the best trips of my entire life. But that was the last trip. But yeah, I've been to quite a few places.
That's fun, man. And that's, again, a great example of any situation can be salvaged. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh man, I fucked this up. Okay, how do we keep going? I'm very big on that. I learned that like in the corporate world too. Like, fuck, there's so many mistakes and shit happens all the time. What do we do from it? Yeah. There's not really a point. Like, if you had just been like, oh, I'm such a fucking asshole for not booking it this time, it's not even worth it anymore. Well, then you ruin. Then it's ruined. Yeah. If you keep trying to turn it into something, you'll turn it into something, man. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that I like thrive on, is the possibility of a solution. Yes. Cool. Thanks for telling me that problem. All right, now how do we fix it? Me too. I can't hear the problem over and over again. I don't want to like gripe on, because it doesn't even matter. Like, the problem's gone. Yeah. Now how do we get there? And I've always kind of thrived in that creative position to be like, if there's going to be a solution, like, I could figure it out. Yes. Like on that trip too. So there was a delay getting back home. So, all right, now we just had like this wonderful trip. And then we got delayed an hour getting back to Lima to take our long flight back home to Atlanta. So we had our 2 big bags, 2 small bags, but the big bags couldn't go, they had to go underneath the plane. And so that's where our delay was our bags were underneath the plane. And so I told Jay, I was like, hey, you wait for this bag. I'm gonna go see if I can get our ticket. I'll take one bag, you get the other stuff, and I'm just running.
And so I try to get in. They're like, no, you can't. It's already too late. You can't check in your bags. Like, the flight leaves within the hour. It takes you probably 2 hours to get through security. Like, you're never going to make it. Like, your only option is to find a flight and hopefully get home tomorrow. Every single flight, it was in the busy season, was going out full. Like, once I hit that point of like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, let me go talk to this one woman. She's like distracted on the phone. I'm like, please, I'm just trying to get home. She's like, all right. She's like, here's my ticket. I'm gonna take them up. Well, what about my bags? And she's like, your bags? I didn't even see you had bags.
Fuck your
like,
bags.
Yeah. And she's like, sorry, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. And so Jay was like, I guess I'm like, no, like, cracking my bag. She's like, what are you doing? I throw her hiking bag, throw my hiking bag. Anything that you don't love, leave it. And she's like, what? I love all that stuff. I'm like, well, all right, well, then I'll leave all the stuff that I don't love. And so I throw like all my, like, whatever I didn't need, like, oh, this is all replaceable. I'm ready to go home. And she's like throwing what she can in her bag. I'm like, now we gotta run. And so we just rolled our big suitcases off to the side, left a ton of stuff that we didn't need, or what I didn't need, and booked it. Luckily, that lady hit this pass, and so run up to the security, and I'm like, hey, already sweating. The line is massive. It is the busiest, probably worst operated airport in the world is the airport in Lima. I'm like, please. And they're like, what do you mean, please? Like, I was like, but it's them. Like, that means nothing.
Yeah.
Get back in line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, find this other guy. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to get home. Can you please help? And he's like, goes back, talks to that other guy. Like, all right, send us in with the flight attendants, the pilots. Like, all right. So that cut literally like an hour and a half off the thing. And then the rest is all running. We're the last people on the plane, and she's looking at me like, I cannot believe you did this. I cannot. And I'm like, I am ready to go home, soaking sweat. Like, I can't believe we did that either. Now I'm like, where the hell are my hiking shoes? She's like, you left them in Peru. You don't remember that? I'm like, oh yeah, no, I do.
That is fucking awesome, man.
If there's a way to solve something, like, I can find it. It might not be the most conventional way, but I will find a way to get out of any situation.
That's so funny, man. I'm also like I feel like I could understand the place you were in where it's like, I'm fucking done. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, it was good.
Fuck these bags. That's so good, man.
Beautiful trip. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm not gonna stick around. Like, everything I did was already checklisted off. Like, I'm ready to get back home. Like, once I'm in that mentality, like, nothing is gonna be like this. Yeah, an extra day here. I don't care where it would be.
No, real shit, man. And also, I think it says too, I love my life. I want to get back to my actual life. You know, that's the thing with traveling too. Traveling is such an important, beautiful, beautiful thing. I like to use traveling as inspiration to make my actual life enjoyable. Yeah, enjoy my actual life, as opposed to save up, go for a trip, and then hate my life when I get back. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't really truly get to enjoy a trip until I'm actually there. So even the planning portion I hate, the thinking about going, the actual traveling the distance to get there, but then being there and being like, this is what it, like, okay, it's all worth it. And so when I do take those trips, I do take, like, just the parts of the travel that I truly enjoy is a culture. So if you're like, okay, hey, if you, I'm going to take you to Mexico. And I'm going to take you to Guadalajara, and we're going to stay at the nicest hotel, and you're going to see it from this bird's eye view perspective. I'm like, no, probably not. But if you're like, hey, we're going to go to Mexico.
Go to the streets.
My cousin is a sicario for the cartel, and he's going to show us around and the life he lives. I'll be like, you know what? That probably sounds like a interesting way to see Mexico.
Yes.
Like, it's always looking for, like, these weird, like, okay, hey, I don't want to see it from a bird's eye view, and I'll try to mix it up. To be like, all right, hey, I can see. I'm okay with seeing a nice area, but I want to see what the culture is about. Yes. And And I think those have been my favorite trips, is where I've been exposed to the people and not just the beauty of the city. But yeah, those are my favorite vacations.
Me too, man. Me too. That's beautiful. The culture. I like how you put that.
Yeah. And so I think that's always like my next chase is like eating local food or experiencing local things, and really having like a cool experience as what a local would do. Because I don't, for me, it's there, and some people love it. Some people love to go to the nicest hotels and kind of see it from a distance, and not ever like feel what I'm chasing. And so I can see why some people would love to travel like that. It's just not something that I really enjoy. Yeah, but
And that's the beautiful thing about life too,
Yeah.
man. You do it how you want to do it.
yeah, for sure.
Some real shit.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. So we're actually at an hour, which is crazy. Time flies when we're having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
I want
for
to
sure.
talk just a little bit about, in terms of all the work that you've done, all the growth that you've done, supporting yourself now. Is it essentially from selling piece by piece? Do you have other strategies? What's the moneymaker for you these days?
Yeah, the moneymakers are the paintings, are the originals. I do have a print shop, artfix.com, artphx. And so the original idea was like, oh, hey, I can also produce some fine art prints. And so I went and bought like this museum grade Canon printer,
Wow.
wide format. And I was like, oh, I'll just turn into a printer / painter. But they both require so much specialty work where it's like, all right, all the printing is pulling me away from the painting. And the painting is what I love and where I see the most opportunity to be, at least in a place in my career, not only financially, but more so like for myself spiritually. Like, okay, if I can only produce painting, that would be amazing. So I've done a few murals here and there, but definitely the larger pieces are where I spend a lot of my time. So right now, I have a few restaurants like around the city. I have it in Hawk Savage right now off of Grand Ave.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a closing show here pretty soon.
Sweet.
And then I've been taking some commissions, and the commissions aren't so much so far out of scope of what I'm trying to do. And so it'll be more so, hey, I would love something like this in this space, which I really enjoy because it's okay. Hey, I got pure freedom, but now I'm playing with your decor. So it puts me in this different element of using a different palette. So those are the things that I enjoy. So commissions, and then also the paintings.
God bless, man. I'm very, very excited to see where things continue to go to. So I still can't believe you've only been at it for a year and change. Like, that's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, if you think about like the hours,
Well,
I've been at it
and
for
the stuff
15,
you did-
15 years.
And the stuff you did prior. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, man. That's a really, really good way to look at it, too.
Yeah, so definitely, it's still fresh, still taking a lot of different risks and opportunities. But yeah, I still feel like I'm at such a disadvantage of not being able to build that skill for the last 15, 16 years since I walked away. So then now I'm like, all right, I gotta produce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always think about like I was like when Kanye West says like he was making 15 beats every day for 5 summers,
Yeah.
or whatever that his saying
Yeah.
is. Like that's why I feel like I'm just producing. So when people say like, oh my God, you're making so much work, like I have a goal of just making as much as possible at the highest quality possible so I can continue to build an inventory and also just get it in as much places as possible. Eventually I'll probably take on more large murals, which are great as far as like advertisement of your skill sets, because these are only going to take me so many places based off either the collaborations that I have or the people that I'm working with, because then it's just a single piece. And if you're not in their home or you're not at those restaurants, that's where I'm really limited. So eventually it'll probably be a lot more larger mural work, or at least a couple during the better weather. I think the things that kind of pulled me away from murals is, well, now, yeah, I'm in the studio. Like, I'm in this nice studio in the comfort of having my computer screen that's playing, like, whatever I'm catching up on TV, and I'm painting in the comfort of my 75-degree air conditioner. Yeah. Or I can be taking all my stuff in the truck and leaving it there and forgetting one thing, and
fucking cooking like a fried egg.
I just don't have it down like that. And then it's doing it at night, stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. As much as like I understand that there's probably money to be made there, I don't know if it rolls into like my quality of life that I would like to have. But as of right now, this continues to pay the bills. I'm still not in the corporate world. And so I take that as a blessing. Like, okay, hey, I still have my studio, and I still have people who are interested in my art, and I still feel like I'm still getting in front of some opportunities. So you're right. It does still feel like it's the beginning. So we'll see when we'll have to have this conversation in a year.
Yes.
As a recap to see where I'm at. If I look more tired than what I do now, like, oh my God, you aged 40 years, Mike. Like, what the hell happened to you? Just been producing work, Vinny. That's all.
Being prolific, man.
Yeah.
Being prolific. No, I love it, man. I come from a lot of the things I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but a lot of the things you're saying I relate to. I look at things very similarly, you know, especially when you feel like you're starting to roll. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep going, because that's a blessing, man. When you have something you love to do, and you're seeing some results from it, fuck, let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, and I say that, like, people always checking on me, like, hey, everything going good? Yeah, it's still here. Like, it's still, like, I'm still painting. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, it's work. It's the hardest I've worked in the last 16 years. Like, it is something, because it's not just here. Like, I can go home from here, but then it's still like, oh my God, I could be doing this to this design. Or, oh my God, here's another design that I can perfect. I want to play with these colors. It is something that I dream about. Like, I'm working 4 days in a single day just because my mind's constantly going with like this nonstop. And it doesn't help that I have like the most vivid dreams, which is insane, because even in my dreams, I'm solving problems that I'm having in real life. So it's like I wake up and I'm like, did I have that dream, or is that like, oh, well, who cares? It's time to paint. Like, I got to go at it. So, yeah, I would love to have another one of these in the year, and just to see where I'm at and see the growth.
It's on camera now, man. We'll make that happen for sure.
Cool.
Fucking appreciate you, bro. This was an awesome conversation. I'm very, very proud of you.
Thanks, man.
I'm very excited for you. I appreciate you sharing the space with me. Where do people find your work?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. That's where I put the majority of my stuff. So it's Padilla or Padilla _ arte, PADILLA _ arte. And then you can also find my work at artfix.com. That's it.
Cheers to you, bro. Great conversation. Versatile Vigilante. More of this to come. Let's go, man. Creativity always wins. Let's get it.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.